Ma chère Ortiz, je souhaite que vous comprenez le français, car j'ai une confession.
Vanilla skies match your piercing eyes. They suit your elegant face. Made attempts at times with countless tries, but for you I'd stay at your pace. Relief-filled sighs when I'm by your side. Just takes one look your way, but your hands are tied. Your heart is right side by another mind. Rum and coke to pass the time. What is happening? Stare so passionate. Broke my callousness. Scars and damages. She's my adjective. Main protagonist. Sweet like amethyst. Be my happiness. Sweet like amethyst.
Elliot. There he goes. Elliot. How you doing?
Hi, Carlos.
How you doing?
Good, good. Thank you for the wonderful introductions.
Of course. It will be my honor, man. So let's get right to it, man. So I met you through Violetta, and you invited me to be a part of a project called Everything Around Us. And when you first brought the idea to my attention, you were explaining modern dance. And at the time, I thought he pronounced it mother dance. But yeah, modern dance. Now, explain what type of dance to the people is modern, like that, because we all know it's not hip-hop. So modern dance, to me, like when I first heard of modern years ago, when I was a younger dancer, I thought it was like in the same platform as ballet and Latin, but I'm sure you have a way better way of breaking it down. So modern dance, in your perspective, how will you explain it?
It's about, you know, at the moment, the history marked two different worlds. You know, one perspective is from Europe, and they have a different dynamic, and another is here in America. But here in America was basically about some dancers and choreographers who really wanted to make a revolution, creating another way to express the dance and not necessarily to stay tied to the ballet technique. That was in the beginning. That was the case of Martha Graham, Albinelli, Jose.
And these are people who like, and these are like pioneers of this style of dance that you're naming? These are like the pioneers of that time?
That was the pioneer of the time. But
awesome.
when you talk a little bit about the story, how you and I needed, which I appreciate to Violeta Calagarza to introduce me to you. My style basically is about physical theater, which is a little, you know, two different vision in Europe and also here in America. For Europe, is a modern dance blending with some theater elements. For America, when you say dance theater, it's more about musical, it's more about Broadway. Even that a couple of companies also, they had the brand in the name, like, you know, like Albinelli Dance Theater or the Harlem Dance Theater. But the concept and the style is a little different. So I guess that my style fit better with physical theater, which is, to me, is blending the modern dance with some theater elements. And that's the reason, because I like to work with you, because it was, to me, you represent a new element in my true life, because your hip hop background, your other styles, in different way that you move, the different way that you perceive also the world and life, which also to me is part of my intention every time that I make a choreography. You know, that really extract from the dancer, that really dancer express feelings and emotions.
Yes, yes, I appreciate those comments. I appreciate it. It really means a lot. So when you first met me and you explained all that, and then there was a moment, I'm gonna bring up a story because the way you just said that, it was funny because you said I had a different like technique with it, but you was able to use something that you seen I was able to do, and you tried to demonstrate it one time in practice, and it was funny, but I did it. I did what you demonstrated, and I did it the way you really wanted to perceive it. But yo, tell me why Elliot was watching my dance videos that I do at home or like that I do outside of the D10 project, and he told me, I want you to do something like that in my project. I didn't know what he was really trying to aim for, but he started doing the Running Man in one of our rehearsals. He started doing the Running Man. He was like, so you was doing a little hip hop. You got a little hip hop in you, Elliot. You got a little hip hop in you. I remember you remember when you tried to teach me for the Pedro Capó song. We were doing the Amor Como Nuestro. Yeah. And you were like, Carlos, no. I'm going to show you why I have an idea, but I want you to do it your way. And you started doing a Running Man, but you looked at so, like, your face was like you was very serious, moving with a groove, like a hip-hop groove. I was like, okay, Elliot. So, with everything around us, with physical theater, how we was able to bring everything around us to life in the physical theater element? How we were able to, like, produce that idea and the way to direct it? How did this whole project came about?
Well, the project, the original idea and the original play was premiered in Quebec, in Canada, in 2015. But then it was so hard to, to present the full piece again in New York. We participated in a couple of festivals that the same year in the city, but I wanted to put again on a stage a longer version, including more dancers. And when I thought to include more dancers, I would like to include dancers with different background. I don't want the whole dancers from modern dance background or ballet background. I wanted to mix. So, because my vision was at the same time that each performance can also to learn from each to another dancer, and the inclusion also from Belange, which is a wonderful actress. Was also a really, because at the moment that she come the first time to one of the rehearsals, I remember that the feeling and the energy in all of you was a little different, because wow, we need really to push to get really the emotion and to really develop the character in order to really perform the right word, the right way that everything is about.
You got it. Yeah. So yeah, it was. I ain't gonna lie, it was a different environment for me because, like you said, I came from the hip hop background. This was the first time I got to be a part of something completely different, and it was something outside of my element. But I will say, you was able to deal with a headache of dealing with me, and I gave you a little headaches here and there, but you made it happen. And to be honest, it was a great feeling after the first show. Just after the first show we've done, the reaction we had from the audience, and the bond I was able to build with everybody. Because when I first got there, we had Ramon. Ramon was very tall. He did ballet, modern. Yeah. And he was he was the clown of the group. He was the funny guy. He was the funny guy of the group. It'll be me. I took it over later. But at that moment, Ramon was the funny one. Belange was the actress. And she came from a background of, like you said, like more of like Broadway and everything. you have Eva, who was like your main. That's one of your like your right hands right there. Like, she's always been in a lot of projects with you. So Eva is the one that's experienced with projects like this, that was able to like get it right on point. Like, she didn't have to like practice too much. Like, she had to practice obviously, but she was comfortable where she was at. Then you had then we were gonna work with Lily. That's her name, Lila, or was it
Luna?
Magdalia. We were gonna work with Magdalia.
Oh, Magda. Okay.
But then she ended up dropping out. And we ended up getting Luna back.
Yeah.
So working with Luna was like like the one that loved everything. Luna, her love for the like just in dance in general. Luna loved what she would do. That's why I like working with Luna, because she loved it.
Luna was the kind of, I can say that she was a kind of the good dressing for this sala that I have it by the time when she came, you know, to complete the cast. Because Luna is a very easy dancer, and she is also really thirsty for learn everything, no matter what.
Yeah.
And this was perfect, especially in all the scenes that you have with her, because it was very good. It was very good.
She's very adventurous with her craft. That's how I like to explain it. She's very adventurous.
Yeah,
so I love that feeling, because it made me, working with her made me feel like I was in like Santo Domingo dancing on the beach. That's how I felt like dancing with her. When I danced with Luna, I felt like I was in the beach in Santo Domingo or something. So now let's get a little personal. What got you starting? Like, what made you want to start learning how to dance and dance in that type of environment, like the style of modern or physical theater? What pulled you in to like to start that journey of yours?
I have to confess that my dream really when I was a child was to become an actor. And my dream was working on TV on soap opera, which I was very fan of the soap opera.
The novela. You want to be a novela.
A lot of drama and Maria Magdalena, what are you doing with this? You know, I love that kind of things.
You about to kill your ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. Estaba buscándolo.
Yeah. So, but then I started basically accidentally training in a folkloric dance, Venezuela folkloric dance. And then I started to discover that really I like it, but I don't want to do that kind of things. So, and it catch my attention jazz, which also was a lot of drama, trying to perform jazz in Venezuela. That was the 80s. And it was a malconception about jazz, the dance style, and jazz as a workout, as aerobics in a gym. So, and then I started also learning ballet. I was in ballet for maybe 5-6 years. Okay. But still, I not had really comfortable with that things, because to me was dances, style dances that really tie me to the technique and this kind of 232 steps and techniques. So, and when I discovered modern dance, that was the best thing. And then when I came to New York for learn more about dance theater, musicals, and I learned more about Fosse and Michael Bennett. That was the, you know, the things. But now I can say that all those things that I learned in the past, that was the real vocabulary that I try to stress actually from my dancers. But always I keep in mind as choreographer that always as dancers and choreographers, we have to say something to the audience. We have to catch the audience in the way that feel really the things, those emotions on the skin, on the bones, really, and make the dance performance an experience for the audience. That's actually my challenge and my goals.
All right. So me growing up, I always really couldn't really tell the difference between a lot of these styles. So what would you say is like the difference from ballet and modern?
When you are learning, both has technique, school, you need the discipline, you need really be commit with that, with during the whole process, learning the different techniques and styles. But at the moment when you are making the choreography, I feel more freedom making a performance with dance, modern dance language than with ballet. I love ballet.
Yeah.
I love the classic repertoire. I'm very fan of that. But as choreographer, that's not for me. That's not for me.
And with
I
ballet,
feel like,
ballet got like
more
more posture, right? And ballet had like more of like the same posture throughout most of the same technique. When you jump and when you leap, everything's like straight up like that. But with modern, you can like bring down more and everything too, right?
Yes.
Or the ballet, you could do that.
Yeah, in ballet also, but I remember that when I had to learn all the gestures about I love you. It's a specific language, a specific science, and he say, but in real life that we don't do that kind of thing. So in real life, it will be something different. So
just like in hip hop, you go like this, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat.
That's the kind of things that I really no one from the ballet world. So those specific techniques, those specific gestures that if you're not including in the choreography, it's not ballet. That's the way. I prefer to do something that I can really feel free for express or or to do something different.
Okay, speaking of something different, speaking of this physical theater, so with modern and everything, you say you feel more free and you can tell more of a story, I believe. I agree with you. I feel like with modern, I can understand modern through a piece, like the story you're trying to tell compared to like ballet. Hip hop, since I've been around hip hop, I could tell, I can recognize the story in hip hop, but a lot of people do not know how to deliver it in a lot of different environments. But one thing that really got me like, okay, this guy is a beast. Like Elliot is very good. And this is where you said it yourself, you wanted to learn how to act.
Yes.
So I will bring up a story that you did that. You was acting in your dancing with physical theater. The drunken guy. And you was the drunk guy. Oh my God, it was hilarious. It was great. It was great. Basically, what Elliot did in one of our shows and everything around us, in one of the pieces, he had a solo. He was the drunk. What are you? The drunk husband? But that what it was. You were like the husband, the drunk one, right?
Yes.
Or the drunk pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elliot had a bottle in a paper bag, like just leaning everywhere, falling around. The funniest thing you did was he was making that sound throughout that whole piece. He had the bottle in there. Yo, what made you do that laugh? Where did that laugh come from?
And it's the same reaction from the audience, because people are the first when because I have to explain a little bit to your audience. I had a real glass bottle in my hands, and something that really is stressful for the audience at first is that what happens if I fall with a glass bottle in my hand? So that is a kind of tension and stress for the audience, and that is intentional from me. I know how to control that. And in one of the parts of the solo, so I just put the bottle on the floor to feel free for movements and do pirouettes and that kind of things. But at the end of the story, that's the Carlos is explained. So I say I had to do something that really, when people is drawn, do crazy things. So, and I start making this laughing funny. So that was.
But it's funny, but you gotta do the hand move. You're like, you had to do the hand movement with it. Like you had the hand, you were leaning, you had the chair, you had a rolling chair, you were just sitting on it backwards, spinning everywhere, looking like you about to fall out. Like Elliot is the first guy that might get a DUI for a wheelie chair. You might be the first man to get a DUI for chair drinking. You're drinking on a chair that's rolling around everywhere, about to hurt yourself or somebody else.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, so we got hear a little bit of modern dance, and we got to hear some stories. So where are all the places you got to present your craft? Like where are all these like different countries or cities that you got to work at with different people? Like where or some highlight area that really is memorable for you? Let's say such as like all the videos I seen you post from Venezuela from years ago. I think from the 80s or 90s, you posted videos from Venezuela. What other places you been at, or what like where you read like your credibility in different countries or different areas?
So the first time that I moved international to my dance company from Venezuela was Colombia. But then because it was a very successful tour, so my manager made all the contacts for different festivals in Europe. And the first time that I traveled to France, and I premiered a piece that was performing on mood and water, and the theater let me use those elements a lot on the stage. That was very impressive. And the people from Canada invite me to present in Canada. And then because that, another people from Italy invite me to. So in that way, I start moving around that.
Ooh.
So that was like the highlights things that we perform with the troops.
I will say that is a goal of mine. A goal of mine is to be able to say stories like that. Say I've been to Italy, France, or Germany, or I would love to have that type of background. This is why I love working with you, Ellie, because working with you motivated me because of your history, and because of your experience, and because you did not give up on me. Because there are times I probably worried you a couple times, not a lot, but I will say I will admit I gave you a couple worries, like, damn, is he gonna be reliable? But we came through. We had a great show. Could have been. I know there's some part I could work on still. I appreciate all that. But that's my goal, man. So how did that come about, the first trip? Like did you had to pay for your own, like when you first like went international, when you first left Venezuela, you had to like pay your own like transportation and shelter at first, or they had that ready for you when you first left for the show?
Usually the festivals, in more of the cases, when we receive the invitation has a clear breakdown all the things that they provide and why you have to provide. So in more of the cases, they say once, if for example it's in Canada, once that you touch Canadian land, you are our responsibility, and they pay everything once that you land on Canada.
Oh, so all you had to pay. So all you had to pay for like the first trip.
The international transportation is on the company. In this case, on Danza 10 or D10 project.
Okay, so what does the D stand for in D10 project?
Say again.
What do the letter D in the D10 project? What do D stand for?
Dance.
Dance. Okay, okay. Obviously, I was a part of the D10 project. I never asked that question. I just knew it was a D10 project. That's the name, so I didn't know I just want to make sure I was on the right track with
Yeah,
that. Okay.
and it was because my dance company in Venezuela was Danza 10, which is Dance 10.
Yeah.
So I made a similar things here in New York, so just to the D10 project.
All right. So now you said it started off from Venezuela to Colombia, from Colombia to France, and France to Canada. Now you're in the United States of America, and you've been here for a while now.
Yeah.
Why you stayed in America? What is it about America that you stayed here, that you just like decided to like this is your base?
I love New York. I love New
Me
York.
too.
And I think that even that is it's a very expensive city. Sometimes it's very complicated, the dynamic itself. So at the same time, it has really many resources for artists. So in this city, if you really find information, if you really know the right people, you can do it. You can do it. No
I
matter what.
definitely, I agree with you 100%. And this is why I want to leave Florida, go back to New York and get some more stuff. Then I'll come back to Florida. Like, I've been dying to go back over there. I'm trying to go out there in 2 weeks, actually. But you're definitely right, because I lived in Pennsylvania for like good 15 years. And I didn't get nowhere with anything, really. Like, only locally, I'm locally famous in my hometown in Bethlehem. But I didn't get to really get that feel or the culture. Like, what I love about New York is cultural.
Yes.
And not just one culture. Like,
No.
look, like, so Violetta is like the foundation, like, she's like the foundation of hip hop, you know what I mean? She's been around since the beginning of hip hop, and she's been doing this for 30 years in that environment. She knows a lot of people and works with a lot of people and produced a lot of people to be great. So like I got to meet her, but that led to me getting to meet other people. So I got to meet you. And to be honest, I want to give a shout out to Violetta, because Violetta could have sent anybody else from Character T to do this project with Ellie, but she recommended me, and I'm grateful for that, because I needed that. And it was great. So, like, with New York, I love New York because you have, like you said, it's a jack of all trades. All the resources it could bring to you. Because when Migdalia invited me to one of her shows, which is like a modern show as well, or like physical theater or something. And that was the first time I went to a show like that in New York in my life. My first time going to a show like that was with Migdalia. Migdalia, like, I felt like I was in those movies. You know, when you watch those movies and it take place in Manhattan, New York, or Brooklyn, and you go to these underground, it's like an underground like stage. Like, you go to this building in a bar, and it leads you to a door that has stairs that go downstairs, and then out of nowhere you see like a big stage, and like everything is like, it's like underground, but it's so beautiful. And it's like, wow, this beautiful place is in this crazy building. Because a lot of places are hidden. Like, a lot of clubs, a lot of bars, they don't always have like the entrance of like a extravaganza, like in Miami or in Atlantic City or anything like that. It looks like, all right, for instance, let's say you go to Vegas. You go to Vegas, all these casinos have a great like thing in outside, like the big giant Hard Rock Cafe guitar. You got that giant guitar right there that leads into the nice like casino and all that stuff. But in New York, they have some extravaganza sources, but there are a lot of places that are really like low key. And I guess it's like that's to protect like people who are famous or people who are known in the industry, like in case they want to, like, they have a show and for nobody to just run up on them and be like, they know that. No, these places are hidden. A lot of these places are hidden, and it's different. And I love it because, like, in the movies, like, for instance, I'm a compare it to the Fight Club. You ever go to the Fight Club? You don't know where the Fight Club is because it's like it's hidden. You got to go to, like, you got to knock on the door in the back of a freaking alley. What's the password? Let me in. Okay, you come in, and then you go through all this like little downstairs stuff, and then it's like a lot of people out of nowhere. So like she took me to a show that was similar to that, and then working with you, the audience was different for me. Your audience, from everything around us, was completely different from the audience I'm used to performing in front of.
Yes.
I'm so used to performing in front of people who are like, yeah, yeah, everybody's excited, right? But with this type of dancing, with modern dance or physical theater, ballet, everybody's quiet.
Yes.
It's like everybody has to be quiet. So it's like I had to learn how to perform professionally and love doing what I'm doing as I'm performing with a quiet crowd. But damn, when the piece was over, everybody like, oh shit. So it was different for me.
And it's good that you mentioned that, because remember that when we made the post-conversation show with Rina, and people start making questions, and everybody you see and you hear that people talk about the experience, talk about that they were in a kind of ghostly world because all the scenes that we performed and all the things that we made. So, and that's the results about that, is to offer an experience to the audience and make that they really feel in the bones what we are doing with at the moment of the performance.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I could definitely say with the style you're trying to present and being part of that, it would not be perceived or received the way that we want it to be received if everybody was just hyping it up during the pieces while the piece is going.
Yeah.
Now I realize that this type of entertainment is like watching a movie. You have to be quiet. You got to watch every detail, listen for every sound. Because with hip hop, people are like, hey,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. I know,
hey. So this one, you got to be really like, oh, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? Like that's the feeling you get with this one. Like, what's gonna happen next? Ooh. But with everything else, with hip hop, it's just like everybody's just going crazy.
Yeah.
But this one is like I said, I feel like you was like, I felt like a movie star in this one. I felt like Diego. Like that's who I was in this show. I felt like Diego. So how do you explain that more? Like do you prefer to dance like that, or have you ever been doing have you ever got to perform like salsa or anything where everybody going crazy before?
I had done during my whole career all kind of things. So I do in Venezuela things for TV, which is commercial things, you know, which
I
is
got to
about
see some of your
salsa,
videos.
which is about merengue, which is this. It's a show. It's a show business. And one time also before to leave Venezuela in 2000, I was the choreographer for the opening of the National Games, which was in a stadium with 60 dancers, 60 models, and 1,500 sport guys. So I had to make a show with that dimension. So, but as you say, when I hear you that you are talking about the experience with the audience, enjoying hip hop performance, it's a similar situation when I see also the audience enjoying a flamenco performance. That's the same.
Okay.
So the flamenco dancers feed and enjoy the clap also from the audience. Hey, dale, eso, maja. It's the same way.
Yeah.
It's no matter what you're doing, it's about the dynamic, how the audience should suppose to perceive the feelings of whatever the experience is.
Okay. So all right, so we'll flip this conversation around now. Get a little serious. Now, something that we're all suffering from, and I spoke this with a lot of people I interviewed in the podcast already in the last couple of weeks. We are in a time where we are in a pandemic, and this pandemic actually really hit hard in the world. How have this pandemic affected you and the work you was producing at the moment? Like when everything you was already working on, you was planning for, how did the pandemic affect it? Like, do you had to change your plans, or you had to cancel shows? Do you had to adjust anything you had planned for the next year or two, like because of this pandemic? Like, how did it affect you and your work?
All the things that you mentioned. So yes, because New York City closed the theaters until spring next year, so we had to cancel everything, all the plans, including I co-host a tango milonga every month, so we had to cancel. We had to cancel everything. We had to cancel everything because I'm not really very expert with social media, so it's hard for me to try to do something online. So now I'm trying to learn more about Instagram, trying to learn more about Zoom, and also I started actually sketching and do the things for the projects for next year. So, which I'm working actually in a big project for next year.
Can I recommend an idea for you?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like it will help you out, and the acting, like you said, you wanted to be an actor, right? Do you know, like, the video, you see my videos where I do like a visual, like the one I did with the water park?
Uh-huh, yeah.
I feel like you should start doing visuals, but like actually like do like little 5-minute videos, like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Tell a story, and I think you should do a physical dance, physical theater, and I could come by and help. Like I could try to like find you a videographer, and like you direct also, and have like just pick locations in New York, not have a lot of people, but I feel like with the style you can present and the image you have in your head on stage, if you get the right settings and the right people and the right like videographer that could like put effects into the video, like you said, like to make it feel like you're in a ghostly world. Yes. So let's say you had Eva like it's nighttime and you're kind of like outside by the river near the bridge, and Eva is like looking like a like, not say a ghost, but like man, that one piece she did everything around us where it's like very like blue, it's bluish. I think it was after Ramon's piece she did. And she had the white dress. She had the white dress on. Yeah. I feel like like a fog machine. Have a videographer go by the river, by the bridge or something, but nighttime, but have a big light shining that you can see her clear for the video. I feel like you should start doing visuals. I think you should start doing videos as well. I feel like you could really be the way you direct the show, you could do it the same thing for a video, but it might be even better than the show because this is actually like the actual vision you want. Yeah. People can actually see what's going on. I feel like that would be something different for you. I feel like you would have a lot of fun with that. And I feel like that right there, and like I said, you don't got to do a whole big 2-hour video. No. You can break it down, 5 minutes, part 1. Like, you know how you had each act is a video. Yeah. So for each act, you make a separate video. For 1 week, you have that act presented. The next week, you do another act, and you just have like a loyal team to help bring that together. And Violetta, actually know a couple people who could do the videography, and like you, and it's all and you're the director. They do what you say. So you can say, I wanted to like circle around this person. I want you to bring the camera and circle around the dancer as they're doing this. I want you to come from the bottom and start going up slowly, zoom in at the same time. Like you can do whatever vision you want. And I really feel like you can make like a magical piece with these. Wow. You should consider it. You should consider it. I really feel like you should consider it. You're welcome. Yeah. Because that's what I'm trying to do. Like, right now I'm by myself. I'm in Florida. I don't have the amount of dance friends or associates like I do in New York or Pennsylvania or Jersey. But like you see, but like the idea I have in the water park one, the one with where we was in the sprinklers. Yeah. And you got overexcited. You were like, for the next one you should do this. Yeah, you were telling me that. It was a wonderful job. Yeah. But the way you said that it gave you ideas. And you were telling me all the ideas. You could do that with your own stuff as well, Elliot. Yeah. You could do that with your own stuff. I feel like I think you would set a ground for physical theater. You would set a whole new thing because not a lot of people do that with physical theater. Now with hip hop or salsa they do, but physical theater don't really get as much recognition. Yes. When it comes to visuals. when it comes to visuals, I feel like you could start a whole new movement, and then other people will start doing the same thing.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Like, and Eva's your star. Make Eva your main star. Eva will kill it.
Yeah, she is.
So what have you been like, anything that you still have in the work that didn't get canceled? Is there anything out there that you've been working on that you would like to like advertise for people to like tune in or anything like that?
Actually, no. The only thing that I started doing with Instagram was I telling people the story. So I'm posting all the things chronologically from the beginning, and I hope to finish on October probably. Putting all the things, just little clips with some stories, but people can see all my background in Instagram actually. So, and now, so we started just a couple days ago working with a good friend from Montreal. So we are talking about to design a new scenery, thinking on the next year. And we start thinking about to create a kind of a stage with a maze or labyrinth with plastic walls. So in that way, people can see the dancers, but at the same time, each dancer will be separated from the other in this labyrinth of plastic. Okay. So we start thinking about that.
And that's a challenge right there too. It's a challenge because you want to make sure the dancers are free when they dance.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure they still have the connection with other dancers, but apart as well. So I really can't wait to see how that turns out because you are a very smart man. So I know you will pull it off.
Thank you.
We probably got about like 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. So there was this one question I'm going to ask. Like, what was your biggest accomplishment that you have done? Like, I'm sure you're going to have another big accomplishment that probably will be better in the future. But what is one of your most memorable moments or project that you've been a part of that really hits home to you, that very important and special for you, that moment in time really like told you like, this is me, I'm Elliot, I'm the director, choreographer, and I love doing this, and this really made you like own that title, like when you really found out your purpose?
First time that I performed with my dance troupe in Venezuela, it was a crazy project. The director of the theater in my hometown, they transformed the whole building, the whole theater, in a kind of ghost house or something like that. You know, like a kind
of haunted house.
Yeah, something like that. So, and we performed in the lobby of the theater, and it was a very evil, terrorific horror performance. And it was a little concerned about how the audience get that kind of things. And that was my first successful in my hometown, in Barquisimeto. So, and the first night in the middle of the audience, you know, when the show is done and people is just saying, oh, you do a good job, blah, blah, blah. So a man come to me and say, you are doing a wonderful work. And this is a moment that this town needs something like you. And this man became later my manager for the whole troupe. And that's the man who bring all my dance company to Europe. And another moment was the first time that I performed in France, was the same. So in the middle, once that the show is done and I am in my dressing room and all people is coming to say, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. This, the director of the theater from Canada come to me and say, I want to invite you. You have to be in our festival next year. So that's
Awesome.
the two moments that, you know, that say, I did it. I did it.
I got two moments as well. I got two moments. One of them was actually working with you. I have a lot of moments. I got more than two, but one of the ones that I would say for this conversation that stand out for me was, like you said, when I was working with, when we got the interview with Rena, and just the reaction from everybody, like the people that were like saying that they couldn't believe that was my first time. That right there showed me that I know I have a gift, and I gotta figure out how I could like evolve everything I know and make it mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that moment, everybody was saying that cannot be your first time. Like, I know you had a hip hop background, but I don't believe that's your first time doing this style of modern dance, of physical theater. Like, nobody believed that was my first ever and only physical theater I've done. But I did a little bit of acting for Violetta 29th anniversary, but that was like for 4 minutes. But besides that, like, and that was like actually just talking, but everything else was just straight hip hop dance. But working with you, man, you got me dancing in my underwear. So like it was different. It was different for everything. So like for everybody, like I said, first of all, I'm dancing in my underwear and everybody's quiet. So not only that I'm uncomfortable in my underwear, I'm uncomfortable because I don't have a crowd yelling or screaming and hyping me up. So everything's quiet and all you hear, da 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 da. That's all you hear. And I'm over here like, but the reaction after, and then in the interview, Carlos y Luna. That's all I kept hearing, and everybody was like, and then the thing that made me feel confident, because the one that made me feel confident was Rena said this. I think I could speak for me and all the ladies in here. We were all getting hot. So I was like, okay. So the reaction from a performance I never done before, from something I never had experience with before, that was good. Number two was the one I did this past November. I had my own showcase where it was mine. I paid for everything. Yeah. I paid for the DJ, the venue, the dance for the studio, like for us to practice, like all the responsibilities that I got to see you be responsible for all of us to be good for your show. I absorbed a lot of your techniques, just like I absorbed it from Violetta, and I also absorbed it from Ryan Morero. Yeah, I got to watch Ryan do a showcase, Violetta do a showcase, and you do a showcase. So being part of 3 different showcases and like being close to you, Violetta, and Ryan helped me do my own.
Yes.
And the showcase, it was a headache. Don't get me wrong. And the thing, I didn't do as much as you guys yet. I did something just for the start. But you guys put in a lot of extra work. But it was a headache. Oh my God, it was a headache. I had to kick 3 people out. 3 people got kicked out through the process because of all the drama and everything that was coming into it. But after the show was done, I had somebody come up to me saying, you need to start running more events.
And that's the way.
And that just right there, yes, I got to start doing this more. So but the pandemic happened, and we were supposed to have one in January. I mean, in March. In February, March, I was supposed to have another one.
Yeah. But that's the way. That's the people sometimes. I know for some artists, it's so hard to handle the administrative part of the things, you know, that you have to find the sponsors, you have to find the donors, you have to deal and negotiate the venue, and then all the things that demands the publicity, the promotion for the event. So those things is sometimes so hard to do it, and you are at the same
a lot
time.
of people get it wrong. A lot of people think it's just dancing. Everybody think it's just practice dancing. Like,
1, 2, 3.
No, not just the dancing. It's behind the scenes. You gotta know what's going on behind the scenes, outside of the dance, because it's a whole teamwork effort, and you had to have people playing a part. You had to have reliable people. So like me, I had a video guy over there, and he was bad. The dude messed up some parts, but I mean the videos were good, but there were some videos that could have been better. So it was like like you said, the promotions, the sponsorship. I had sponsors for this one, and I had some okay promotions, but after all of it, there was still like it was a good show. But now I know the mistakes I've done that I need to for the next show. But yeah, you're right. It's like everybody just think it's just practicing the dance. Oh, just make the choreography, practice it, the transitions. That's it. No. First of all, we need to get the studio just to practice in.
Yeah.
We gotta stay on top of paying the hours for the studio time or whatever negotiation with the owner. That's one. You gotta do outfits. Yeah. I ordered outfits for my team. I came out of pocket. Nobody in the team came out of pocket but me for this part, for most of this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then also for the DJ, I had a sponsor for the DJ and the photo booth. So before the show started and during the intermission and for after the show, the post show, I had a digital photo booth, like in the movie theater when you take pictures of your date and the paper and the slip come out. I had a digital one. So people were taking free pictures for free. People didn't have to pay money for these pictures. They go there with a group, they take pictures, they get their printout, and they could also send it to their phone like a GIF and put it online on social media. Yeah. So like, and that right there played a good part for like the accessory for this show for people to have fun with it. And I had the bar right there. I had a bar. Like it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun, but it was a headache. Yeah. But the results made me want to keep doing it.
Yeah. But you know what? When you say that people think that it's easy, that's also the goal. We know that it's hard behind the scenes, but when people perceive that it's easy, that's the goal. We get it. Because people don't have necessarily to know all the headaches that we have behind the scenes. So just, okay, we are fine.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
So we about to close up soon. I think I got enough for one more question because it's almost that hour mark, and this thing will turn off. Like on Instagram Live, you only have like an hour to do this. Okay. And now we had to do a whole nother live. So Elliot, we got to learn how you started. We all got to see how you wanted to be an actor first, but through your process of wanting to be an actor, you end up growing a love for dance. But you don't realize you still have acting mixed with your dancing. So you're still acting. You just got dancing with it. You just have a different way of approach. So you have that going on. You're a great director. You're not only the actor or a dancer. You're a director. You're a leader. You're a choreographer, a visionary.
Thank you.
Remember, I was confused when you were trying to show me these visionaries when we first started a new piece in the show. I was confused and tried to really look at it. Like the teachers leave them kids alone piece. Hey, teachers, leave them kids alone. The dictator piece. Yeah, that one I was confused at first. I was confused with that piece at first. But then through time and through like your patience, like through patience and like the vision, now like, oh, okay, now I understand this piece. All right, now we can do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like with the chairs, I was confused. What are we doing with the chairs? Why are we doing? Oh, I understand now. Yeah. So a lot of people get confused at first, and it takes away their momentum to go on and stuff. But you were able to like keep people attention, keep people. You were able to keep people interest and working with you still. I don't care. I'm still part of the D10 project. Yes. Whenever I'm out there, I'm still. You are. I'm with you forever. You are forever stuck with my ass. But any advice for such dancers like myself or people who are considering to take dance approach? Any advice just in dance general and any like anything you want to say out there? Like any advice through the times we're going or advice for creativity? Anything that you feel like you have your voice right now. Use your voice right now and what you want people to understand or take in.
Show up. Because you cannot be a dancer in a closet or a studio just doing by yourselves and just to yourself, just seeing yourself in a mirror. Oh, I'm pretty and cute. This is good. This is not. No, show up. Where is the place for work? Who is the person who is doing a show or a performance and go to there and knock the doors? For producers and directors and choreographers, knock doors. Many doors. Even that they know open, continuous knocking hard and harder. That's the way.
Start kicking that door.
Just insist, insist, insist. One of the doors will be open for you.
I appreciate that. That's actually something that I can learn from still, because I'm still knocking on a couple of doors. Some have opened, but there's a lot more to open. So that actually is something I will take in for advice, because that's one thing I try to tell my dancers. Like, you can't just stop. You gotta be consistent. You gotta be very consistent.
Yes.
Like even if you're not dancing with other people, dance by yourself and post that shit. I don't care if you're dancing in your backyard. I don't care if you're dancing in your room. Anytime, if you can make a video, put it up. If you could go and meet up with somebody and do a show for people in the streets, go do it. If you want to go do TikTok, fuck it, do TikTok. Like, I tell people, like, do something. You never know who's watching. You never know who's gonna come at the right time.
Yeah.
Just stay. Like, if you are a dancer, you gotta let people look at you and be like, oh, he's a dancer. You know what I mean? Yes. So like me, I don't want people to be like, oh, he's a hip hop dancer. No. And thanks to you, I'm not just a hip hop dancer. No. I'm a professional dancer.
Because
you know what I mean?
see you. I see in your personality the passion for dance. And that to me was the best thing. Violeta, double check with you. Do you think that Carlos is good for your project? It's perfect. It's perfect. Don't worry about
it. Violeta, no, because I worried her a couple times. Don't get me wrong. I don't blame her. I don't blame Violeta. Lately, I've been worrying her towards the end. But she knows I love what I do, and she knows I'm always grateful for everybody and for everybody being patient. Because let's be real, around those times when I got to work with you and I was working with Violeta, I was going through a hard time in life.
Yeah.
In general. Like, working with you and Violeta kept my mind off the bullshit I was going through at the moment.
Yes.
Cause I was like, the only way for me to get out of this bullshit is to keep doing what I'm doing with Violeta or with Elliot. You know what I mean? That's the only way, like, at that moment in my head, like, I could overcome this bullshit I'm living. I was homeless, but I didn't have money. I wasn't working. I was going back and forth between Pennsylvania, New York, and Jersey. Mm-hmm. And people like you and Violeta saved my life. Like, you made sure I was good. You made sure I ate. You made sure I was good. Like, even like let me have a shelter for here and there. So I want to like give you your roses now. Before we end this thing, I want to tell you thank you for everything. One of the biggest gifts you gave me that made me feel that this right here shows I'm professional. This right here shows I know that I am a dancer. And this right here was a gift from you. So I got it hanging in here as like an accomplishment. Look at that, me and you right there. And this right here will always remind me like to not stop doing what I'm doing, and to know that that right there shows I am a professional. And that is thanks to you and Violeta and everybody else that when I went to New York. So I want to give you your roses. I'm not going to wait till you die and be like, oh, I'm going to let Elliot think. So you're alive now. I'm going to let you know why you are still here and why we are still going to do more projects. We got 20 seconds, so I'm going to just try to end this fast. But I love you, man. I'm grateful for you, and thank you for coming on to my podcast. I'm very thankful for you, Elliot.
My pleasure. My pleasure always, Carlos. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You have a great Labor Day, sir.
You too.
Happy Labor Day. You take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.